Scarpins Avenue.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sklar Country, the virus edition, aka the Pandy Pods,
AKA two nice shirts.
No dirt.
Yes.
AKA only fraught bizarre works and subpar plonks would even try to short Sklar stonks. Mike Huddleston, aka Huddletron, aka Old Zealand, aka the AKA guy.
Hey, honk if you love Gronk.
Honk if you love Huddleston. We do.
Yes, we do.
Huddletron. Guys, we're back. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us in the stereo conversations. Everybody here, get the free stereo app and join us because
It's so much fun. It's live shows. I want to see us get 100 people at each of these shows.
I think we can. So here's what you got to do. Just follow us download the free stereo app, follow us, and we do this sort of
extensions of this show, but in conversation with you guys on
3
Mondays.
p.m. at 3 p.m. Pacific on Monday, 3 p.m. Pacific on Wednesday, and then we do Dumb People Town at 4 p.m.
on Tuesdays, and then
then
on Friday we talk sports. It's like a sports open line.
It's so much
Fridays
fun.
at 3. View from the cheap seats.
All right,
It's
let's
a blast.
get into this because we have stories, and we have to sort of talk about things that happened last week because there's some stuff that I want to get into.
Well, let's get into it.
All right,
So we've done how many stories have we
We've
done?
probably done close to 500 stories
I think
on
so.
this podcast
Yeah.
because we were doing 2 a day until we hit the new year or the holidays, and now we do 1 a day. So 1 a day for the past 35, 40 days, and then
and you're-
2 days for 10 months.
And you're looking at the hosts of this show, or you're listening to the hosts of this show and the research team as well. We have no research team. That's it. This is it.
It's us.
It
It's
is
the
us.
two of us. We are the hosts. We are the research department. We're the ones who do the content.
So to flip back the curtain on The Wizard, which, by the way, I have been watching a lot of The Wizard of Oz, with my daughter who's 7, who loves the movie.
I would love to see how that scene was made. So to really pull back the curtain on the pulling back of the
Well,
curtain
what's
scene.
amazing is the guy who plays the wizard, I think, plays every other character who talks in the Emerald City, which
Wow.
is so interesting.
Incredible.
Not to pull back the curtain on the wizard.
You
so
were.
we're going to pull back the curtain on the wizard on our process. So what happens is that Randy and I scour the internet for stories that make sense for this podcast,
And they have to make sense for this podcast and we don't want a lot of crossover with Dumb People Town. And sometimes that happens and it's okay because we're filling a daily podcast. We don't want it to be we don't want them to involve sports because we don't want it to be our sports podcast. So it has to fit a very specific, narrow thing and have some connection to the pandemic.
Lots of parameters. We dig in. We don't have a research team. We don't, like Dan Van Kirk sets up for Dumb People Town,
We
have
should.
a hashtag.
So here's what we're going to do.
We're going to start it right now.
Hashtag Sklarbro virus. Sklarbro virus, or is that bad? Let's do
Hashtag Sklarbro. Hashtag Sklarbro's
Fine.
enough.
You can do hashtag Sklarbro.
Sklarbro.
Send us a story about the pandemic that you think is dumb or funny.
Hashtag Sklarbro. If you have a funny, then we have a little timeline, and we can even mention who sent it in.
Send it to us on Twitter. We'd love to do that, and that way you can send us stories. But otherwise, we're
Dumb
picking
stories that relate to the pandemic, crazy stories. You know what we do on this podcast by now. Hashtag Sklarbro on Twitter, and we'll find him. Okay.
That way we can give you guys and give the credit if it is. But as of right now, we're doing it on our own. Again, I'm amazed and baffled that out of 500 stories,
We've only had
approximately-
maybe 1 or 2 that have created controversy because we've done the research, we've read an article or 2, and
we look for the comedic angle, and sometimes we
get the details wrong because we're trusting an article that it's telling us the truth.
and we sort of go off in a way.
And
So-
we take an approach. We take an opinion. We take a thing, whether we feed off of a detail within a story, and we take an opinion.
try to
about
blow it out, and that's it. And so I'm amazed this hasn't
It's only
happened more
happened
times.
twice. It should
So we
probably should
post
happen
our
more.
clips on social media, and occasionally it never gets to the person we're talking about. But last week one did. So we were talking last Tuesday, or last Monday, I believe it was, about a
guy who was tattooed, who loved his dog, who worked for a company that was
in Brooklyn or Queens, and they got him a dog as a partner and paid for the dog and paid for the medical of the dog and paid for
the company paid for his food, subsidized his food and all that stuff. And then the guy, because of COVID, he was laid off, the guy, from his job
And then he wanted to
temporarily.
keep the dog.
And he wanted to keep the dog because he built a relationship with the dog.
And so we thought it was crazy that he had a tattoo on his leg of the dog.
We also joked that the way he was talking about the dog was like a sexual harassment situation at a workplace. That
was the joke and the angle we took, and we said he's got a tattoo of the dog on his leg. and he doesn't have a tattoo of his wife on his leg. She must be really upset. That's what we assumed.
We posited it. It was kind of a funny approach to the whole story. That was the approach we took. Well,
we got it wrong. How do we know we got it wrong? Because we posted on our Instagram.
And his wife wrote to us.
Someone sent it to his wife, and his wife wrote to us. And Joanne, his wife, Joanna, I'm going to get it wrong, but I think it's Joanna or Joanna. Sorry if I got it wrong. She said, I actually support him 100%. Here's what you got wrong. She was actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
She said, here's what you got wrong.
She said, we like the support and spreading the publicity
Thank
for the
you
story.
for spreading our story, but here's
You're
what you
welcome.
got wrong in this, and this. And, oh, by the way, we have a GoFundMe page, and this, Fight for Roxy on GoFundMe. And I read through the thing, and I thought, you know what? We don't get it wrong a lot. And I'm amazed that this hasn't happened more often. I'm going to go to the GoFundMe page, and I'm going to read the whole story about it. I read it, and then I donated to their GoFundMe.
There you go.
If you guys want to do that, you can do that. I mean, this to me is...
Fight for Roxy on GoFundMe.
Yeah, this is how we... I think apologies and apologizing for something.
That's how we do it in Sklar Country, the Virus Edition. That in our country, that's how we should do things. When you make a mistake, you put something out there, you go, okay, I screwed up. We threw something out there. We got it wrong. We're going to come out and say we were wrong.
I think apologies are powerful, Jay, for
They're
the person who
so
receives them and for the person who gives them.
Set you
There
free.
is something unburdening of apologizing for something you did wrong that you can move forward.
Yes.
If you don't, you carry that grievance with you the entire time, and you
Yes.
can't move past, you can't move forward, and that's how we end up where we are in this story. And okay, it's something that maybe could have saved the dude who is in this next story we're talking about.
Correct.
But that's why we bring up the first story, because it is related to this story right here.
Correct.
And yes, it's a bit of an update on another story that we did.
This is a day
This
of
is
updates.
crazy.
Yeah.
So stay glued to your listening device, but only figuratively,
Because here we go.
All right. This past week, many have been following the saga of Tessica Brown, which we talked about on our show too. And after there was the 40-year-old woman from St. Bernard Parish, Louisiana, who ran out of her hair setting spray, which was called Got to Be Glued. Terrible name for a hair setting spray.
And
so she used Gorilla Glue on her hair and got it stuck and just had a terrible time.
Oof.
So it was really a bad story. SNL did a sketch about it.
Yes.
We talked about it. And it's funny because in light of reading what Joanne had written to us about the guy with the dog, I thought to myself, oh my God, were we too mean to the person? Then I went back and thought about it. You know what? We actually gave it to Got to Be Glued more than this woman.
Yes.
Okay? So,
not blame her.
she did do something wrong. Don't ever spray adhesive on your head.
Correct.
Okay? We should all know that. But
Got to Be Glued is a little misleading, a misnomer, as it were.
Exactly. It's misleading. And we posited again that she probably wouldn't have sprayed regular glue if it wouldn't have been called. And we felt bad for her.
Yes.
And then felt great for her that the story did you know, Jay, had a very positive ending. She flew out to Beverly Hills, you don't fly to Beverly Hills. She flew to LA, went to Beverly Hills where a surgeon agreed to basically do a treatment on her that lasted for 4 hours for free to get the adhesive out. So it had a happy ending. And even more happy, this woman set up a GoFundMe and is basically made a small fortune because she's so popular at this point for having done this mistake and having put herself out there, that she donated $20,000 that she made off her GoFundMe to a charity that the surgeon had set up.
Boom.
Okay, so this is the world doing everything the right way. This woman did something that wasn't so smart, and she's now paying it forward in a beautiful, beautiful way. No charge. I love it. Kudos to everybody in that story. Okay. Then this dumb idiot comes up.
Thank you.
Not content to simply take Tessica Brown at her word, Len Martin, and you're going to remember this guy when I tell you who he is.
Len Martin
decided to test the adhesive qualities of Gorilla Glue on himself. He thought he could use it to glue a red Solo cup to his lip and then simply lick the adhesive off.
No.
Yeah, this is the moment when you realize that science is more complicated than I bet I can do that.
Right. Or this is the moment where you go, maybe I should test it on two things that aren't part of my body.
So you don't see scientists who are actually testing something out that ultimately will be for people. Like the people who are working on the vaccine aren't just fucking around in the lab, just squeezing it into each other's arms.
No.
There's a very much a protocol to do this right now.
Let's glue these two things. Why don't I break a vase and then put it together and see how strong it is? Then why don't
This wasn't Martin's, because he really didn't believe her that this happened. Instead, Martin ended up in the emergency room where a doctor used a, quote, painful peeling method to remove the cup from his lip, he told WVLA. an NBC affiliate. in
Painful
Baton Rouge.
peeling. Is that a medical term?
I don't know.
Is that the medical
You could
term?
get a medical peel. That
You
is
could.
something that's not
A face
good.
peel is something that that women and some men spend a lot of money on. It
But
just
a painful peeling to me, they
it's
should.
not exfoliating. That's not what he's doing when he says a painful
They
peel.
ripped his stupid lips off. Okay.
Jeez.
And that's the punishment you get for thinking that this woman's hair was a hoax. This spray was a hoax. Like, you think it was a hoax, and that's what you get for
Maybe
it.
this is a result of our president and the culture of the last 4 years just calling things out as fake without knowing if they're fake or not. So we've come to a place in our society where people are just like, if you don't like the outcome or if you don't believe it at
Fake
all,
news.
fake news.
It's wrong.
Fake news. So now the concept of things being fake to a large portion of this country is way more common than the actual occurrence of fake news tidbits.
This is the boy who cried wolf.
That's right.
And the wolf came, and the wolf got
No,
stuck.
no, it
the
wasn't.
wolf came, and the wolf got stuck to your lip. And that's what happened. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to tell you what happened to this dummy right after this. All right, guys, welcome back to the show. I want to mention that we are doing the live Dumb People Town. It's coming up this weekend. Jack Black and Open Mike Eagle. Get your tickets at eventbrite.com.
Only a few tickets left, so get on that. And then Randy and I are doing a really special night on March 20th, our first night of headlining stand-up, and then we just decided to add this other element to the show.
We're going to do a small cheap seats at the end. We're going to pick a really fun
clip. We're going to do jokes over the clip. Never seen before cheap seats. If you miss cheap seats, you want to see it in a live setting, you can see us do stand-up. There'll be other great comics on the show, and then we will end with the little cheap seats that
I'm excited to try it out with you guys. So that'll be March 20th. Again, go to eventbrite.com, look up Sklar Brothers stand-up, and you can live stand-up. You can see that March 20th. Get your tickets now. Also join the Stereo app, like we said at the top of the show. We want to see you guys in all these discussions because they're so much fun. I want to hear what you guys think about this guy. When we left, Len Martin, this dummy from Baton Rouge, said that Tessica Brown's glued hair was a hoax.
Fake news.
And decided to put Gorilla Glue on a cup, and a solo cup, and stick it to his lips, that he then had to have surgically removed in what they called medically a painful peeling process. By the way, do you think that she wanted her hair to look like Steve Garvey's in the 1980s, an immovable object, or like a Devo hat?
No.
She didn't want that.
No,
she didn't want that at all. So why would she do this?
Why would she fly all the way to Beverly Hills for a 4-hour treatment, which I'm going to assume was not comfortable?
And by the way, I bet she thought she had to pay for it. And at the end, they were like, look, we're not going to charge you for it. So, like, she's feeling all this anxiety. Why would she do that if it was fake? All right?
Yes, it worked out for her in the end, and maybe that's why you don't believe it.
This is this dummy's reasoning. Everyone is on social media. Every day there's a new challenge, and I didn't think it would go this far, Martin told the outfit.
This is not a challenge. This is not the Gorilla Glue challenge.
Yeah, you made it a
This
challenge.
is not raising money for Parkinson's or something
breast
like that.
cancer or Lou Gehrig's disease by people gluing shit to their faces. That's not
not
what
it.
it is.
That is not the challenge.
This is you thinking everyone is challenging you to do stuff.
Or this is someone like half reading a story, or somebody half paying attention to what's going on and deciding they have an issue with it. The same way we have paid attention to the guy who wanted to keep his dog from Queens.
Exactly.
We make that mistake too, but we don't glue things to our face.
Exactly. Quote, I thought that chick with Gorilla Glue was making that story up. Why? Why would you think that that's what she did?
And also, I'm sure she appreciates you calling her that chick.
Yeah. So why not try and screw up my own face to prove that point?
That's ripping off your own lips to spite
your own
face.
face. That's right. And the hubris, this guy, of thinking that he's going to expose poor Tessica Brown for being a fake.
Fake news. It's not fake news. We got to stop saying fake news. We got to stop going to fake news so early. Fake news is not the place you go immediately when you don't like the news.
You got
That's
glued.
it.
You got glued, bitch.
You got glued.
But no, quote, it's real. I don't know why I tried it. Because you did not think it through, dummy. Now they're talking about cutting the tip of my lips off in surgery. Y'all pray for me.
Just the tip?
Just the tip. Y'all pray for me.
Why do we have to pray for you?
have to pray for you?
I don't know if I believe in God. So now I have to believe in a God just to pray for you and your lip?
I feel like you deserve the tip of your lips to be cut. That's a perfect thing. It's, an eye for an eye.
Lip for a lip.
A lip for a lip here. Think about what you're asking everyone to do, to excuse your stupidity. Now, If you were using Gorilla Glue in your garage
and then you tripped.
and a cup got stuck to your face, yes, then I would say yes.
I don't know what we'd be praying for. I guess praying that you can save part of your lip.
Praying that you realize how stupid you are and that you'll never do this again. I don't think that's going to happen. Or that you escape from this to live another day to make another decision. What are we praying for here?
Does Gorilla Glue now have to come out and tell people what not to do with their glue?
Yes.
They're going to have to make a list of don't put it in your hair. Don't think that the person who put it in their hair was a fake situation.
You are the type of guy, you are not the type of guy who's going to just, if I were your priest, I would be like, Jesus doesn't cover this stuff.
Yeah. That's out of the policy.
It's out of your policy.
Jesus has an insurance policy
and
where you can
don't
pray
have
to
this.
It, but you
don't have lip glue.
You're out of the network with this one.
I'm going to go ahead and assume that you're not the type of guy to make a video to say to the camera, anti-maskers are saying that masks don't work. Well, I think they're lying. So I'm going to triple mask as I go into this Costco. You're not going to do that. You're not going to make that video.
No.
All right? You're going to make the video about how people say you can't run across 8 lanes of traffic, highway traffic at night, and then you get hit by a car. Mm-hmm. That's the video that you're going to make.
Yeah.
By the way, this is not Martin's first go around on an online stunt. In 2019, Martin filmed himself opening a tub of ice cream at a supermarket. Remember this guy? And licked it. He licked it.
Boy.
He licked the goddamn ice cream at a supermarket and then returned the carton to the shelf. He was arrested and charged with tampering with property and unlawful posting of criminal activity for notoriety and publicity. I love that that's a new charge.
So again,
Rip his lips off. This is why you
should have had your lips off for that one.
It's payback for the people who had to eat your ice cream. This is the type of guy.
And why would you post that? Like,
the way,
to me, you want to get caught.
Right. This is the type of guy who loves to walk into a room and just say, I'm crazy. Announce it to everybody. I'm crazy.
I don't know what I'm going to do
I'm
next.
Unpredictable. You don't know what Len Martin's going to do next.
Did you call him Leaves Martin?
Leaves Martin, because there were leaves blowing around outside. If you have to explain how crazy you are, you're not that crazy.
Yeah.
It's forced.
That's literally the catch-22.
It's forced, like a red Solo cup on your lips. After doubting the veracity of Brown's claims, Martin said he regretted trying to prove her wrong. Jesus, I was not expecting him to say that. Mm-hmm. How is it this guy who can get a red Solo cup surgically removed from his face can admit when he's wrong, and our former president cannot admit that he lost the election? Mm-hmm. How is it that guy, this guy who's so dumb, who glued a cup to his lip to prove that he thought the other woman was a hoax that she put it in her hair?
Well, at least he regrets that he did it. At least he's saying out there to the world, I regret my decision.
He said, this is not the challenge you want to try. Again, not a challenge.
Just again,
not a challenge. Tessica Brown wasn't challenging anyone else to do this. No. You weren't supposed to Gorilla Glue things to your face and then tell one of your friends that they have to then do it.
If anything, had he Gorilla Glued his hair, then it would have been closer to the challenge.
Yeah, that's not.
Then you could maybe argue that it becomes a challenge.
This is you getting bitch slapped by karma, and I gotta say, thank you, karma.
There you go.
You took one for the team, and it felt great for us to laugh at your stupidity. And then I liked you in the end because you admitted that you were wrong. So you know what? I'm going to turn this all around and say, I like this guy.
Yeah.
So you might think that we made fun of you the whole time, and you deserved it, just like you deserved the tip of your lip to come off because of the stupidity.
Just the tip.
But in the end, I like you. And I like all you fans, too. Thank you guys for coming to the show. Stay connected, stay protected, don't get infected.
This is not a hoax, but we got the jokes. We'll see you Saturday night. Get your tickets.
La-ti-da, la-ti-da-ti-da-ti-da, la-ti-da.